inspired was, um, it may happen in few days, few weeks, few months, or few years, but it will happen. Until then, I will remain calm. And whenever I felt anxious, I used to just remind myself of that line, and it certainly gave me power and kept me going. So
Yeah,
it's absolute honor talking to you. Thank you so much. And probably her soul urge, your mother's soul urge, and the soul, it probably was a medium to, you know, get it. I
yeah.
believe in energy science, and there are so many forces that are unseen, and if we they are the medium, and then they choose us as a medium, and it happens.
Yeah,
I hope
absolutely. I
you
agree with
believe
that.
that.
Yeah,
Yes. So
wonderful. So good to have you back for round two of the conversation.
yes.
So Vinesh, do you want to start or how do you want to take it forward?
No, no, I think Akhil, you just go ahead. I think we
Okay.
continue from where we left. I think you have already got like 4 or 5 questions, right? So
Can
let's start.
we can we first complete the one word, because I have written all that down,
Yes, yes, why not? Why not?
and then we go for. So yes, so that
Sure,
that
sure.
would be a
Okay, my first question is describe yourself in one word.
magician, health
Okay.
magician. Done.
Okay. How would friends and colleagues describe you?
Always smiling.
Okay. If not your present profession in your career, what was your second alternative or what would have
Magic.
been your second magic? Okay. And if not magic and doctor, anything else that you had in mind?
Healer and a speaker, maybe.
Okay. Nice. What do you do when you're not working apart from doing magic and treating people and making them
Well,
healthy?
I read, write, learn, develop, and contribute and share. Rest of the things, I feel it's all waste of time. I love exploring the world and traveling, of course, but I have to remind myself कि सब तेरे जैसे नहीं है, be with everything. And that is
Correct.
also normal.
Yeah. What is your favorite cuisine?
Mhm. Well, I love all pani puris and chaats and soups.
Okay. Chaats and soups. Okay. What is your favorite holiday destination?
Krabi.
Krabi. Okay. Which is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Lucy and Baby's Day Out.
Okay. And what do you see when you look back today?
What do I see when I look back today? Ah,
So this was also one of my question, Dr.
yes,
Pallavi,
yes.
that you've come a long way in your career, right? Both as a magician and as a doctor. How does it
Hmm.
feel having come so far, and where do you go on from here?
Please repeat.
Okay. My question is, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, you've come a long way in your career, both as a magician as well as a doctor. There are two parts
Hmm.
to the question. How does it feel at the current moment, and where do you go from here? What next do you do? What bigger plans you have for your future?
I feel nothing happens by chance,
Hmm.
and I certainly feel blessed. And now I want to connect the two. So hence
Okay.
I call health magician. Feeling complete and completing the circle there.
And do you also plan to bring in the energy science into your healing and
Yes,
magic?
yes,
Okay.
yes, certainly.
Wonderful. Okay. Now, being a magician is your passion, right? And by profession, you are a doctor. So, one of the elements that we generally ask youth and people ask us is how important is to balance the passion and profession. And while you do that, what are some of the challenges that you face?
Okay. Well, I feel that where there is will, there is always a way. There would be challenges. I don't believe in, putting things into the box. I'm a very, very reflex person. So if at all I believe in the guidance. So if at all I'm doing something and I get a call for something, and if my inner guidance says that take this as opportunity or whatever, I will step in there. So I believe in keeping flowing, keeping yourself aligned, and staying happy anyway, and reminding yourself that it is all happening, in the right divine order. Right things are happening in your life the right time. But at the same time, all these concepts apart, life is mechanical, and when you are passionate about something, you have to keep it alive, because people around you will not talk about it as much always. Because like if I have my kids, they will have their own demands, my patients will have their own demands, my husband will have his own demands, and my friends and families will have their own perspective. So I make sure that it is in my structure, you know and I see it every day on my wall or somewhere, wherein my energy keeps flowing there, and I have to keep it going, because that gives me power. It is my oxygen, and it certainly, you know, uh, you know, what uplifts me, and only then, if I am happy. And uplifted, I can contribute in the lives of others. So that's how I would like to put it.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful perspective. So this brings me to my next question, which is slightly related.
Mm-hmm.
When we read about you, right, your journey as a magician, your journey as a doctor. So obviously, one word that comes to mind that you are a successful doctor, you are a successful magician. So what is success to you? What does success mean to you? How do you look at it? And would you say that yes, I am today successful?
Well, as per the books, as per the theory, there are so many definitions of success. But yes, I feel I am successful, certainly, because I have evolved as a person, and everything in my journey has, taken me the next level. It is a learning and growing together. Success for me is feeling complete within, that you give a word to yourself and you are staying true to that, and you are feeling happy for who you are and what you are up to. So for me, it's like feeling complete, and in all the dimensions of life, and balancing, whether it is family, whether it is work, whether it is any area of life. So you feeling at peace with where you are, in mind, body, and spirit.
I've heard people talking about mind, I've heard people talking about body, but obviously spirit is something that we kind of forget, and that is what I
Yes.
think sometimes keeps the mind and body also together.
Yes. Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That is one of the most key thing I believe now.
Okay, okay. Great, great. Okay. Now, and this is a difficult question, not because the question is difficult, but because obviously it is not, I would say, one of the question that people like to answer. So let's say you are gone from the world, right? And one day we will all go from the world. How would you want to be remembered when you're gone? What kind of a legacy would you want to leave behind for your family and for other people around you?
Hmm. I want my death to be celebrated, and I want to be known as a magician of health and well-being, and giving access to people to tap the magic within them. So that's what I feel uh, will make me feel complete.
That's a very
Yes.
candid and off the book answer because we've spoken to a lot of people, and when it comes to legacy, Most of the time people go by the bookish definition of how they want to remember. But thank you for sharing that. My last question, Dr. Pallavi, for you is the purpose we're writing this book is to kind of take all of these positive stories to the younger generation, especially the millennials and the centennials, right? Now, obviously, technology has evolved, people are evolving, but there is a lot of inspiration that people draw from real life stories, right? So, if you were to give one message to the youth of today, to the millennials and the centennials, what will be your message for them?
Okay. Make your choices, day-to-day choices wisely. Do something that choose something that makes you feel good when you're doing it, and it is good for you. It is good for others, and it serves the higher good. These are the lines of Tony Robbins that I always remind myself, and I think they are so very important because youth today, we need to balance between short-term pleasures and long-term, and we believe that it is only one life, and we are going to die one day, so why not have all kinds of pleasures and die. But then I feel that no, we are creating karmas and there is a karmic balance which needs to be taken forward. So when you are living your life, always we have two buttons here. One is the divine side and one is the devil side, and they are not like good and bad, but in that perspective. But it is like always making that choice, reminding yourself that okay, if we all have both the choices, and whenever I am hooked and I'm facing and going through challenges, I have to be firm enough and make my choices from the divine side or from the higher emotions, from the hope and connecting to. We have lost looking up in the sky and asking for guidance. We are so much driven today by only five senses. If I don't hear it, or if I don't see it, if I don't experience it by my five senses, I don't believe it. But we have to remind ourselves that in front of the universal forces we are nothing. So we have to at times just surrender and choose wisely. So yes, there is a way, and stay tuned, stay focused, enjoy, and be happy with what you have, because otherwise the cravings can take you off track. So you being fulfilled where you are and then moving forward is certainly powerful, because in today's world there are so many options, so many choices, that at times it making choices may creates confusion. So that time we have to step back, look within, stay aligned, and choose wisely. And I would also recommend everyone to read my book along with yours. The door to confidence opens here, and it would definitely be your access for the younger generation.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think one of the relevant points that I take away from what you said as a message for young people is sometimes it is good to surrender. It is not always that you have to win and you kind of have to win over the other. Sometimes taking a back step can also give you peace of mind, at least in life, which is something that we all miss out. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So thank you, Dr. Pallavi, for sharing that. Vinish, over
Thank
to
you.
you. I have asked all my questions.
No, I don't have any specific questions, it's like more of a, on the fly questions. There are two. So one is on, Dr. Pallavi, you talk about a lot of, in throughout your interview today and the other day, you talk about a lot of spiritualism and divinity and those kind of thing, like in every third or fourth line, you have used one of these words. So, and if you look at in today's generation, it's very practical. People don't go by these words. I mean, these are like something which is like things of past or something, right? And I mean, normally in the common norms, you don't hear these, right? So, how it came in your life? I mean, this environment. I mean, is it because of the family? Is it because of something else? And interestingly, while I was going through a lot of your old videos, on your YouTube channel. So in many a case, in fact, I think in almost all of them, you started with prayer and those kind of thing, and then you went on, which is very unlike, I mean, prayer, yes, I mean, it's there, people don't like, okay, in their own silent being, they do it for their own reasons, right? So ये सब कैसे हुआ, how it started and मतलब ये influence कहाँ से आया?
Well, it probably वो हमेशा था और कुछ समय के लिए the life took me to the modern world, and now I feel the need to balance both and take both and take life forward, because I understand the power of both. It's not like, it's we can take both forward together. So it was since beginning, and that is, I feel so proud now of my cultural or religious or spiritual background. It comes from my mother and her parents. They had taken Diksha, and one of the key five acharyas, he was the fifth acharya of the generation, which is considered a very, very respected place. And every time we had this performance, I have majorly performed for charity and a cause, as in temple raising. And everywhere, every time I have gone for performance, I had this amazing opportunity of interacting with spiritual leaders and their blessings. And I also had my Jainism speech lined up always. And I started with the prayer. I did not know that time it was uh, my mother's efforts. For me it was like it अच्छा लगता है जब अपन prayer से start करते हैं. But after I learned pranic healing, I was amazed with the power. That what did I do? I was doing invocation every time, aligning to the universal frequency. When I understood the power of, the sound therapy and the sound vibration and the Sanskrit Shabda, there are like Bij mantras that people use now. So after understanding that, I felt like, oh my God, I mean, these, we feel that हमने सब कुछ किया है, but these little things, they make such huge difference. So I am blessed, and now I will keep that alive, and I want the generation next to keep our ancient wisdom alive and take it forward.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing this. This is really powerful, and that's the reason, I wanted to connect those dots, that where is it actually coming from? You went through some specific program, or is it there, from your childhood, so yeah, so you answered it nicely. Okay.
Probably
Now,
that was like, हजार लाखों बार subconscious में वो बोके रखा गया था.
absolutely, absolutely, no doubt about it. So my another question is, you gave the message for the millennials, and how you want to see the world, and okay. So now talking about your immediate world, your two daughters, So what is that you have as a mother? You have like, कितना भी आज के rate में, हम बोल रहे हैं, we want, kids to choose whatever they want to pick and all that. So here we are not talking about their career or their this thing, but there must be some basic expectation and hope that you must be having from your daughters, right? They need to behave in a certain manner, or they need to, bring their light about in such a manner. So things like that, right? So what is that you expect as a mother from your kids?
I just want them to be balancing the IQ with the EQ.
Hmm?
So I believe that uh, today people who are emotionally stable, emotionally able to manage whatever life is throwing upon them, uh, can, do better in every area of life. And that is certainly so very important. So what they learn in schools And of course, in today's world, the schools are also taking efforts in balancing both. I can see that in their school as well. But as a mother, I just want them to remind themselves that whatever they are doing, ultimately they are doing to feel good and be happy. So it's just about being honest, being in integrity, and reminding yourself कि भाई happy तो मैं आज भी रह सकती हूँ. So happy रह के अगर मैं कुछ करती हूँ तो उसकी ताकत कुछ और है. So all the time I just remind them to do the same. And rest, I believe that they have their own, balance sheet, and they have their own wisdom to take it forward. And I believe that they're going to be extraordinary, they're going to be
Super.
successful. And my role is to just remind myself of and believing myself in them and their abilities.
Super, excellent. So, Akhil, that's it from my side. It's very nice. We wanted to finish this in 30 minutes. It's 27 minutes, so we have got 3 minutes left. So, Dr. Pallavi, you want to ask any questions from us?
Yeah, I would like to know a little bit more about this book that is coming, and what are we up to next? I mean, of course, I got some, you know, uh, part of it, and I feel honored to be part of this book. But if you can add to it, it would be definitely.
Super.
Uh,
Akhil, you want to start or should I?
No, I'll give the honors to the new author. Both me and Dr. Pallavi are authors, so I think you should take the
yeah.
lead this time.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think this book, so first of all, how this book, the whole journey started. So, me and Akhil, we go back long back, when we were doing our MBAs together, right? So we were batchmates. And so on and off, we were in touch. Akhil runs an NGO called Hriday Foundation on Delhi Ghaziabad side. And I'll say, occasionally for my own soul scratching, I come back and contribute while he is doing it, religiously. So my job is very limited. I just talk to him whenever there is a fundraising requirement or something. So we have been in touch for various reasons, and then his book came in August. Before the book, also, we were in touch, in terms of looking at various, how to promote in various WhatsApp group, this, that, whatever, right? Then something happened in my life, and it was a complete roller coaster ride. I was fully, like almost on a verge of a breakdown. That happened very, very recently last year. So in October, I think 22nd or 23rd, I just called him up. I said, Akhil, यार अभी क्या है कुछ तो legacy होनी चाहिए यार life है. So he said, हाँ why not? What do you have in mind? मैंने बोला यार बहुत सारे thoughts हैं लिखने हैं. So many people up and down in terms of the journey, seen very good days and very, very bad days. So there have been bits and pieces in the life, right? So traveling all across the world and all that. By the way, I also run a travel company separately with my wife to promote the nature tourism. And so we are into wildlife, this thing, it's called earthyuse.com. And we have an African entity called Africa Keys. So these are the two companies that we have, which is based out of Nairobi, for Masai Mara and all that. So anyway, so coming to there, so Akhil said the first idea was to to document on how we can guide people to celebrate failures. So that was the first idea. We started researching, and the second idea Akhil said कि यार कुछ extraordinary, the first idea was to capture some of the CAs, like CA journeys. His first idea was to document some of the CAs and be this thing. So I said, यार इसको थोड़ा और expand करते हैं. Why only to look at CAs? Let's look at others as well, and Indians in general. And अभी मेरे को लग रहा है अखिल की मैं अभी बोल रहा हूँ तो मेरे को लग रहा है कि अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारे बुक में एक भी सीए नहीं है, तो तो वी स्टार्टेड विद दैट।
बुक का राइटर सीए है।
बुक का राइटर सीए। तो सो दैट्स हाउ इट हैपेंड। एंड देन जब अखिल मेरे को बता रहा था कि यार कुछ पावरफुल स्टोरीज है, ये है वो है, and suddenly while we were on, while we were discussing, I think within 5 minutes I picked out like maybe 5-10 different names. Yeah, I know this person who has done this, I know this person because of my network. So immediately, and then Akhil said कि यार तो एक काम करते हैं, इस पे भी काम करना पैरेलली शुरू करते हैं, ठीक है? तो that's how we started. एंड विद इन अ वीक वी रियलाइज कि यार जो पहला वाला टॉपिक था सेलिब्रेटिंग द फेलियर, तो उसमें तो अभी काफी काम लगेगा और इसके लिए हमारे पास काफी कुछ तैयार है, तो लेट्स गो विद दिस वन फर्स्ट। सो दैट्स हाउ वी एग्रीड. We went through lot of profiles, lot of people we approached, they said no. Lot of people, came through various channels and we said no. So it happened both ways. कभी हमने मना किया, कभी उन लोगों ने मना किया, and then also looking at various permutation combinations. So interestingly, you are the 14th one, and now there would be one more person whom we would be interviewing sometime this week. So that's how it happened. And the idea is very, very simple, very crisp, that we are trying to find that common denominator in between all these personalities. What is that common factor across all these personalities to where they are. And almost all the journeys that we have in our book, they are not stereotype. So when I say stereotype, means that what is a typical stereotype journey? चलो ठीक है, पैदा हो गए, स्कूल चले गए, थोड़ा बहुत कुछ कुछ हॉबी वॉबी टाइप का कुछ कर लिया, फिर कॉलेज गए, फिर शादी हो गई. मतलब कॉलेज में भी you have got 3-4 things to pick. I mean, if you look at the people whom the age group that we are covering, majority of them would be in their 35 to 45 kind of range. There are one or two exceptions who are older people as well, but then most of them are in that range. So उस time क्या था, डॉक्टर बन जाओ, इंजीनियर बन जाओ, एमबीए कर लो, या there's this typical this thing. And फिर शादी वादी हो गई, फिर then you keep on running for your family, for your kids, and end में you take retirement, or you spend from your saving, and that's it. तो मतलब कैसे आए कैसे चले गए कुछ पता नहीं चल रहा, in between. So that's where we are trying to see, the people whom we can pick, who can inspire others, and trying to, because I mean we still have to do that piece of going through all the stories, in terms of, because we started putting the first draft. In fact, Akhil has done that thing. He has already got the first draft ready. So we would be, looking at going through all the stories and picking that one thing which is going to be across everybody. And maybe we'll put one chapter as an hour analysis of looking at all the personalities. So I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for choosing me. And how did you connect to me then? Like, what connected?
How I got your reference?
Uh,
So reference came through, I think, Ruchi, through Hen Network.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's all, because even before I called you up, Ruchi said a lot of good things about you.
I
And
don't know her directly, personally, but
but are you part of Hen? Are you part of Hen in somewhere like Nasik
not
or somewhere?
not actively. I am part of the social media group. I
Okay,
keep on
great. Okay.
sharing on social
Hmm.
media.
So maybe, yeah. So then that's how, because she is running this hen network in Bangalore. Through her, we got a lot of contacts, and she pushed a lot of stories. I said no, abhi ye nahi yaar. No, this is not this thing and all. So when then suddenly when your thing came in, like it was like not even 20-30 seconds of description. मैं कभी भी, मतलब मैंने गूगल नहीं किया, मैंने रिसर्च नहीं किया, कुछ नहीं किया. सो व्हेन आई हर्ड फ्रॉम हर, एंड शी सेड कि यार ही इज youngest magician, Limca Book of World Record, and she's a doctor. I said, यार ये कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या बोल रही है यार मतलब you're saying magician है and she is based out of Maharashtra and ये सारा कुछ मतलब so then you're saying she's also a physiotherapy doctor ने बोला मतलब magician है doctor है तो बोलती है नहीं दोनों है मैंने बोला दोनों कैसे हो सकती है तो it's like so that's how it's like within 15-20 seconds so then she explained and then immediately I called Akhil तो और बिना तो मतलब नॉर्मली क्या होता है कि मैं उसको नाम भेजता हूँ या कुछ आर्टिकल्स भेजूंगा कुछ लिंक भेजूंगा कुछ चैनल वो सब भेजूंगा एंड देन आई टेल हिम टू लुक एट इट एंड देन आई विल आल्सो लुक एट इट सो वी माइट डिसाइड यस नो व्हाटएवर राइट सो इंटरेस्टिंगली इन योर केस हमने कुछ भी नहीं किया so I just called him up. I said, बस रुचि का फोन रखा and then I called him up. I said, यार ऐसे ऐसे है. There's somebody called Dr. Pallavi or magician Dr. Pallavi and she was youngest this thing and so I given him like 10-15 seconds के अंदर में मैंने उसको brief किया होगा and then he said हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल amazing है interesting है चल करते हैं तो मैंने बोला ठीक है पक्का तो बोलता है हाँ तो एंड देन इवन व्हेन आई कॉल्ड यू अप उस टाइम तक भी मैं नहीं गया था मतलब पैरेलली व्हेन आई वाज डायलिंग यू अप आई वाज आल्सो ओपनिंग गूगल एंड आई वाज लुकिंग एट योर प्रोफाइल एंड ऑल so that's how it happened so
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, and it's certainly very very pleasing to hear that. Thank you. So there
welcome.
was a time when I had stopped sharing and putting my identity as a magician on social media. I had one connect जिसने मुझे like one of my fans last year he had connected कि I searched for you so much and kahi pe bhi I had not included magician. So in my Facebook profile also it was Dr. Pallavi Deshpande. So who knows? I was known as Pallavi Kasliwal then when I started as a child. And after marriage, I just was like, there was a phase when there was like, you know, a gap and my focus and priorities changed for the good. And then I put it all back
Very nice.
intentionally, yes, I got connected to so many, and it's pleasing. So
Great, great.
one more message I have for people is something that I reminded myself in the lockdown because I believe in the flow of energy and there are so many things that each one of us have within, but for some reason or the other there is no expression. So that is very very important, and what happened was I realized it myself that we were already going through some challenges at our work front, wherein me and Dr. Alap, both of us, you know, uh, being in the same field, and there were some important decisions taken there. So I took a backstage, but then I felt like, I have so much to share, but I'm not sharing, so much to add, but I'm not adding. So that was also a clocked energy. Whether it is my own children, there is so much that I want to give but I'm unable to give. But then without going into guilt or blame, I just found this outlet as book, or maybe the YouTube channel, wherein I was reminding myself 1,000 times that okay, जो है वही देना है ना. So just give and leave it to the world to decide what it
Absolutely.
is. And
Absolutely.
you just give what you have with full faith and with your own honesty and integrity. And then I just forgot YouTube channel. I did not know anything about what, why, but and being in a lockdown and that phase when I started, there was like minimal guidance. Alap used to be busy in his own world, and then he was like, matter what, you don't know anything, don't start like this before you have. So I said, no, I can't wait for anything to be perfect. Whatever I have, I will start. Then there were few videos wherein the volume was not there. then something more was not there. Then people, I have to ask that, Are आवाज आ रही है क्या? And then I'm evolving. But it is all about not being perfect in something outside of you, but believing in who you are, who as whole, complete, and perfect, and having perfect emotions and practicing the right emotions is all that I prioritize today. So I just wanted to share that as well.
Very nice, very
Thank
nice,
you
very
so
nice.
much.
Hey, one quick question. Which year, one technical question. So which year you got Limca Book of World Record?
I think it was 1994 or 1996, but I started my career in 1990. You know what? I had not even seen my whatever that file na before marriage. My father used to collect all, and then marriage ke baad jo add hua, who will go and see?
Hmm.
It was all the records were with him, and I was not interested in as a child in seeing what I have got. After years I saw, acha, this is all that. And I felt good about all the achievements
And
myself. So
how
I
old were
just
you?
remember,
How
I
old
when
were
I
you when you
started
got it?
I was 9. When I started I was 8, 9. And
So
then
you must be like 14 or 15 when you got the Limca Book of World Record, something like that.
nah, I think then I was, and it must be 1994.
94. So it must be like 13
12,
year old, 12 or
12.
13-year old. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it, Akhil, from my side. Akhil, anything from you?
No, no. I think a big gratitude to Dr. Pallavi, magician Dr. Pallavi, for
Oh,
being
thank
very
you.
candid with us. In fact, I got to learn a lot while we were talking to you. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank you
And
so much.
hopefully, me and Vinish will be able to do justice with your story by writing it down well. So
Thank you so
I think as a next step, what will happen, Dr. Pallavi, is that once we write the manuscript, the first draft of it, obviously between me and Vinish, we'll try and refine it. But we'll send you the rough sketch so that you can also read through. And especially if there are any chronological iterations that need to happen or something is not being put in the right perspective. So once we get those inputs from you, we get go for the final refinement, final formatting, editing, and then we look at publishing the book.
Okay.
Best wishes to you. Best
Super.
wishes to
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
Thank
you
you.
much,
so much.
and
Thank you.
best
Looking
wishes to
forward to
you as well.
something wonderful.
Thank
And
you.
may this
Absolutely.
book do awesome for each one of us. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Absolutely, without a doubt. Please take good care
Okay.
and stay safe.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.